Good morning.
Everything was back.
Even coming down Ashland.
Maybe it's something that's like up there.
Okay.
Good morning. The May 16th meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. In the interest of promoting the order and efficiencies of these hearings, persons who are disruptive to the hearing will be asked to leave the hearing room immediately. Meetings of the Board of Estimates are open to the public for the duration of the meeting. The hearing room must be vacated at the conclusion of the meeting. Failure to comply may result in the charge of trespassing. Madam Deputy Controller, are there any corrections, additions, or deferrals on the agenda?
Good morning. There are no corrections or deferrals for today's agenda. The board did not receive any protests. I have the following abstentions to report. The Honorable Mayor Pugh will abstain on page 7, item 3, and on page 24. There are no abstentions for the Honorable President Young. However, President Young will be voting no on page 5. The Honorable Comptroller Pratt will abstain on page 3. Pages 48 to 49, item numbers 1 and 2, and page 69. Remaining on the non-routine agenda are pages 70, items 1 and 2, which are the audits. Mr. President, members of the board, those are the abstentions as well as the items that are on the non-routine agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. I would direct the board members' attention to the memorandum from my office dated May 14th, 2018. Identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items together with any corrections and additions that have been noted by the Deputy Controller. I will entertain a motion to approve all of the items contained on the routine agenda.
Mr. President, I so move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion carried. The routine agenda has been adopted. The first item on the non-routine agenda can be found on page 70, item 1, Department of Audits Report, Baltimore City Police Department Death Relief Fund for years ending December the 31st, 2017, 2016, and 2015. Will the parties please come forward?
Right now, that's it for right now.
Good morning, members of the board.
Good morning.
My name is Audrey Askew, Acting City Auditor. The first audit is the Baltimore City Police Department Death Relief Fund audit of the financial statements. Our audit objective was to determine if the Death Relief Fund financial statements were properly stated at the end of each calendar year, 15, 16, and 17. In our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the Baltimore City Police Department Death Relief Fund for the years ended December 31st, 2017, 16, and 15. If you turn to page 3, when we look at the balance sheet, the total assets comprise primarily of investments. Investments decreased in 2016 due to the large number of payments and death benefits. There was no debt associated with the fund. For the statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, given the amount of expenditures related to the death benefits in 2016, the change resulted in a large deficit balance. And this is the nature of the fund, so that would occur. Death benefits by year. For 2017, there were 4 deaths, resulting in $40,000 in payments. 14 deaths, $140,000 payments. In 2015, there were 2 deaths, $20,000 payments. And we're talking about deaths of sworn officers, civilians, the crime lab, accounting department, active member deaths. The next audit, so they received an unmodified opinion, which is a clean opinion. The Mayor's Office of Human Services, performance audit.
Before we start,
Okay.
Good morning, Mayor Pugh, President Young, members of the board, Controller Pratt. As it relates to the audit, which the Ms. Askew just spoke to, on behalf of the police department, we want to say thank you for the audit performance that was done, and the Baltimore City Police Department concurs with the audit results.
Mayor's Office of Human Services, performance audit, fiscal years ended June 30th, 2016 and 2015. Our audit objective was for the performance audit was to determine whether MOHS, the Mayor's Office of Human Services, met its targets.
Audrey, hold up for 1 minute. The second item on the non-routine agenda can be found on page 70, item number 2, Department of Audits, Audit Report, Performance Audit Report, Mayor's Office of Human Service, fiscal years ending June 30, 2016 and 15.
Again, I'll repeat that, the audit objective. The objective of our performance audit was to determine whether MOHS met its targets for selected performance measure targets of the Head Start program and the Homeless Service Program for fiscal years ended June 30th, 2016 and 15. The first performance measure was on Head Start. It was the percentage of enrollment during the contract period. The target was met. MOHS reported, and the Department of Audits verified that the Head Start program met its fiscal years 2016 and 2015 targets of 100% for the percent of enrollment during the contract period. Targets for number of students or children receiving early Head Start services for both years was 759. Also, there was adequate documentation to support the number of children enrolled in the program at any given point in time. The program's target is based on the total amount of funding received from the Department of Health and Human Services divided by the average cost per child. If you turn to page 7, the next performance measure or measures we looked at was number 1, homeless prevention. The percent of households who received eviction protection grants that remain housed for at least 3 months, and the permanent housing for the homeless, the number of eligible clients who maintain permanent housing for 6 months or longer. Finding 2016-001, MOHS was not able to support its fiscal years 2016 and 2015 targets and actual amounts for the above performance measures. According to MOHS, the person who submitted MOHS's targets for fiscal years 2016 and 15 performance measures included in the city's budget book is no longer employed by MOHS. According to a note in the city's 2018 and 2017 budget books, these measures were updated in 2017 as the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development revised data, standards, and definitions. In addition, supporting documentation to assist with amounts supported were not maintained by MOHS. We recommend MOHS develop a system and implement controls to maintain records to support established targets and actual amounts for the above measures, even if performance measures are no longer reported in subsequent years' budget books. Would you like to address this one, or would you like me to?
I'll do both, if you
Okay.
don't mind, when you get done.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you turn to page 9, the next performance measure was on temporary housing for the homeless. We looked at the percent of persons moving from temporary to permanent housing. Finding 2016-002, MOHS reported that it did not meet its 2016 and 2015 targets. During audit testing, we noted that the amounts reported in the city's budget books were unreliable. For 2016, target performance measure reported in the city's budget book was 100%. However, according to a homeless service program analyst, the correct target should have been 60%. The actual amount reported in the fiscal year 2018 budget book was 30%. But according to MOHS program analyst, the correct amount should have been 42%. Regardless, the target was not met. For fiscal year 2015, the target performance measure reported was 60%. The actual amount reported in fiscal year 17 budget book was 50%, but was changed to 41% in the 2018 budget book. We were later advised by MOHS that the correct amount should have been 48%. Regardless, that target was not met. We recommend MOHS establish procedures to ensure that performance measure targets and actual amounts are accurate, reliable, and supported by adequate documentation. In addition, we recommend MOHS identify and address causes for not meeting the established targets. Finally, we recommend revisions to prior year performance measure targets and/or actual amounts not be made prior to approval by the Department of Finance. However, those targets should not be changed in subsequent year budget books without adequate disclosure in order to avoid misleading performance results. In conclusion, based on testing performed on MOHS performance measures, the Department of Audit conclude with several deficiencies. Number one, agency changes made to actual output for performance measures makes it challenging to regulate the budget book process. This minimizes users' ability to rely on the accuracy of the information data in the budget books. And number two, there's limited to no controls within the agency or BBMR related to fluctuations made to performance measures.
Okay.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Mr. President, Madam Comptroller, members of the board. First of all, I want to note,
State your name.
I'm sorry, Terry Hickey, the Director of the Mayor's Office of Human Services. Mose concurs with the recommendations that are in the audit report. We note the successful audit of Head Start, but we think that as far as the Homeless Services context goes, it's a contextual piece, and so we've drafted a detailed response to the audit report that's included within. But if I may, I wanted to highlight a couple of key points here. This performance audit looks back to 2015, 2016. It was a time of great turbulence and change for Mose. They were in the process of a major effort to increase the quality of its data collection and align its outcome measures to brand new HUD standards, the first in decades. We were converting to a brand new database, we were implementing new federal performance measures, and we were also trying to convince all of our grantees to enter their data into our system, often for the first time. We're completely dependent upon the data entered by the groups that we fund to drive performance outcomes as mainly a funding entity. My team has worked the events that the discrepancies in the audit in large part were led to by our staff trying to correct a lot of these historical issues when we came on board soon after the mayor took office. My team has worked closely with BBMR over the last year to address these issues. Our outcome measures have been carefully planned and communicated. We have a strong data team. We have a brand new stable database and clear outcomes aligned with federal and state requirements and clear mayoral priorities. I can assure the members of this board and also the general public we have already taken steps to address all of the auditor's concerns and put new systems in place. And I want to make clear to the board and also the taxpayers, it's important to note that Mose is a careful caretaker of tax dollars. Our agency is subject to extensive federal oversight. We're required to submit an annual action plan, annual performance reports, and reports now on data quality annually. We document all of our program expenses, provide oversight on all of our nonprofit agency partners. HUD ensures we complete our mission and remain in compliance by reviewing and approving these reports, conducting an annual program and fiscal monitoring. In addition, we're subject to the annual single audit that is also reviewed by HUD. And finally, we report all of our outcome data regularly to the Continuum of Care on system performance, and we're getting ready to publish a comprehensive performance report and a publicly accessible dashboard that will let citizens in real time go on the website any day and see where we are towards our performance goals.
Any questions? Okay, so on both audits are so noted. There have been no more business before this board. We will recess until bid opening at 12 noon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Good afternoon. I apologize for the delay. We're waiting for our third member to sit with us. Unfortunately, she is delayed unexpectedly. So if you would permit, we can go forward with the two of us who are sitting if you are agreeable to that. Any objections? Thank you so much. We'll begin then. Good afternoon. The Board of Ethics is now in session for the receiving and opening of bids. I have 3 addenda for today, and they are as follows. WC 1339, Upton Neighborhood and Vicinity Water Main Rehabilitation. Please change the bid due date from May 16th to May 30th, 2018. TR 18010, Urgent Need Contract Citywide. Please change the bid due date from May 16th to May 30th, 2018. B5000 5241, Janitorial Services for the Department of General Services, Group 1 through 6. Please change the bid due date from May 16th to May 30th, 2018. Those are the addenda for today.
So ordered.
Thank you. GS 15823R, Courtroom East Roof Replacement. A bid bond is required if the amount is over $100,000. Thanks. SGK Contracting, Inc., with a bid bond, $2,277,000. I make a motion refer the bid of Tecta America East to the Law Department for review.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This bid will be referred to the Law Department for review. City Roof Corporation with a bid bond, $3,196,300. Roofing and Sustainable Systems, Inc. with a bid bond, $2,613,203. Good afternoon.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
No problem. We already explained that unavoidably there was a delay, so, and everyone agreed to allow us to proceed. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
And again, this is GS 15823R. I make a motion to refer the bid of Flynn Mid-Atlantic LP to the Law Department for review.
Second.
It is so ordered.
Okay. Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, sure, thank you. Yes, thanks.
bids of Tecta America East and Flynn Mid-Atlantic LP on GS 15823R is each referred to the Law Department for evaluation and report. The remaining bids are referred to General Services for evaluation. Thank you.
That was the last one. B50005281. OEM and aftermarket parts and service for marine and maritime equipment. A bid bond is not required. Looks like it's just based upon labor rates. Investment for equipment and with a discount. See, it says you must list, but it doesn't say what to belong to. But that's a discount on cost, yeah, discount on offer. And that's what remains in, but that's the one that have discount. And see, this is the one, just read the labor rates, too. You can't read it, because it refers to the law department. Because it says that you must, it's not optional. See, it says bid a must. Mhm. I make a motion to refer the bid of Fleet Pride to the Law Department for review.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is so ordered. The response of Fleet Pride, Inc. to B50005281 Bureau of Purchases will be referred to the Law Department for evaluation and review.
This is the original. Okay, now we get B8. Sure. I will read the regular hour rates for this bid, which is the basis of evaluation. Marcon Engineering Services, Inc., $62 per hour.
The response of Marcon Engineering Services, Inc. will be referred to the Bureau of Purchases for evaluation.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You gonna put us in recess now?
You've been running this week.
A little bit.
I know you have. You gonna put us in recess, though?
We are in recess.